All right, guys. This is one I'm excited about. We're going to be talking about PayPal. We're going to talk about recent speculation, PayPal's financials and growth metrics. I'm going to go back. I was early on this one. I got excited about these guys in June. Needless to say, that was a while ago. I went in on options, but and with options, if you're wrong on the timing, you're pretty wrong. It doesn't even matter if your general thesis is right. Luckily, the way I trade options, I do it with leaps so that I buy myself as much time as possible. So what would be detrimental in regard to timing for some people is not for me. We'll go over that. So we'll hit speculation, we'll hit the growth metrics, we'll hit my options play, we'll go over the charts, and anything else that comes to mind here. But I'm very excited to talk about this today. I think PayPal is finally getting what it deserves. It's getting a lot of interest. I'm seeing a lot of big names coming into it, and I think that's only going to grow. So let's start off here. Recent speculation. I'm going to zoom in. I want to get this very readable. I've had problems with that in the past. So again, so let's hop over here. So my thoughts have changed dramatically in the last 24 to 36 hours on this. Initially, I was very hesitant to think that for the speculation part, I should clarify, I was very hesitant to think that Elon and X would partner with PayPal. People originally were talking about like acquisitions, and I was like, that's insane. He already had one really expensive acquisition of a social media site. There's no way he was going to do that with a payment provider too. Not when he could build it. But my friend Derek, I'll reference him in this too. He's actually in this recent post. Let me see. Right down here, Derek Quick. He made a brilliant comment about this. He said, X won't be able to get the 20 plus years of regulatory licenses or hurdles that exist, from the 200 countries that they're a part of, and the fact that they're actually in China. They might not be a huge portion of it, but they're a payment provider that's in it. And that says a lot. And then you've got 5,000 patents. Regulations have only gotten worse over time, especially here in the States, Europe. I'm sure Canada is in that too. Canada is like impossible to enter for everybody, it seems like. So my thesis started to change a little bit. And then I started to do some research, and I was like, hey, wait a second. These guys partnered with eToro back in April of 2023. I don't know how far that's went along, but that was to integrate crypto trading. So I'm sitting there thinking, why would they reinvent the wheel? Elon helped co-found this company for PayPal. And on top of co-founding it, he has a fondness for it. He always wanted to have the all-in-one platform, the social media, the payment app, and then integrated later, with Tesla, to where when you have ride autonomy, everything is in one place. And with X payments and that handle going online just yesterday, started to make me sit there and go, like, Derek made really good points here. They have integrated before. There are massive hurdles that X would have to overcome to get into all these different markets around the world. I'm getting excited, so it's time to readjust my seat. So maybe this could be very real. Maybe this is possible. And then on top of that, I did a video, I'll include it at the end of this, about Alex Chris talking about just the other day in an interview that he did that I kind of gave my commentary on. I included stuff in there too that they did not have in the video clip. So definitely make sure you watch it at the end here. But I started to sit there and think, they've got this exciting announcement. And he said in this video, they're going to shock the world. And this announcement comes on the 25th. It's just 4 days from now. So it makes me go, X just brought their payment handle online. And Kelly was talking about this in this post. Check it out too. She's great. And initially I was dismissive of it, but like a lot of things, she was right. I believe. And so they've got the handle. There's this January 25 announcement for PayPal. And then when you start to line up there, connect the dots, it really seems like this makes a lot of sense. If nothing else, the narrative is coming. And PayPal was up 6% without this narrative on Friday. What's it going to be like heading into this next week, now that people are starting to really get excited about the stock? Now that this stock has broken out of a downward trend, let me show you here. This downward trend started almost 2 years ago. That's a pretty long time. We're at price levels that we have been at for almost 7 years. So anyway, so I think there's going to be a lot of excitement behind this. I'm getting pretty excited myself. And again, this is a narrative. Maybe the narrative doesn't play out. Maybe we find out on the 25th that stuff isn't happening, or that it's something else. But price action between now and the 25th will be strong, I think, because of this narrative. And then if they allude to in any way that there could be some relationships and integrations in the future that are large in scale, or provide just anything positive for PayPal, we hit 74, 75 pretty easy when you look at the moving averages here. And let me just readjust. When you look at the moving averages on the weekly time frame, let me get off of daily. The measured move off the head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders that I talked about down here, is to the 100 moving average, and also this peak volume in the history of the company between around $74 to $76. So that target's getting hit, I feel like, no matter what, and it might literally be next week. I think there's enough momentum behind this from this breakout to do that. Wait, you guys are going to be blown away when I show you the numbers I'm looking at from these options that I have that expire in January 2025 for the 140 strike. You're going to be blown away by the numbers. I actually haven't looked at them in a long time, and I forgot I'd been buying more contracts. I hadn't really been paying attention. I'd just been buying more on the way down. So even though I was early by this 7 months ago, 7 months in options time frame, I should be dead. The potential on this is insane, but we'll go over that later. I digress. So anyway, so this target will be hit, I think, pretty much no matter what. Then you add in the fact that if there's any good news on the 25th, let alone, let's say, an integration with X, that would be insane. If that happened, I could see us easily going to 105, the next fib level. There's just no volume after 75 to 105. The volumes diminish greatly, and that tells me that we're likely to ramp and push up and try and at least hit that next volume peak. If there is an announcement like that, I think that comes in weeks, maybe a month. And when I say this is not unprecedented. In a little over a month, Square jumped 100%. And they haven't even had really great news. So this stock is still down, as of writing this, 78% from its high almost 3 years ago, 2.5. So imagine the upward price pressure that could be coming. It's so huge. Anyway, I'm gonna move on. Let's move on. Oh, and just to show you how stupid I was, here's how early I was. I was talking about this. Let me see. Oh, this is July, but I'm pretty sure I was doing it in June too. I was talking about, hey guys, we're gonna break out, and I showed the options play, which was good looking back then, but damn, it's better now. A couple other things I wanted to highlight. Just in here, short interest wasn't that great. EPS looked pretty good. The thing is, the buybacks, PayPal still has buybacks, billions of dollars worth of buybacks. I'm going to show you that on another screen here. It's crazy. Institutional ownership, huge. This company's still growing by 8%. Let's just move to the metrics, okay? So this is a site of a friend of mine. It's visualstocks.com. I highly encourage you to check this site out. I love it. There's a free version. I think you get most of this with the free version. I pay $10 a month or something like that. Alejandro can correct me. He's on X here too. He's actually implemented a bunch of my ideas on here just by me going, hey, have you thought about this? And then like, boom, in a day or two, he's done it. Anyway, I'll jump off the subject, but I love this site. I think you should check it out. It's really cool. So let me just jump up. I'm going to try and get this real large because I want you guys to see this. Yeah, that's pretty good. So revenue growth. PayPal has still grown by 8% this last year. Margins have compressed. That's a big talking point to people. Margin compression is not good. I have a theory about that. That big credit card issuers have high margins right now. They're going to see diminished margins, greatly diminished in the years to come. There is a major push with stable coins and crypto to create low-cost solutions. Like look at Solana, look at the majority of these stable coins, low-cost solutions that can still accomplish all of the things that like money laundering laws and all this identity stuff. All the stuff is already there. It's already in place. Some people will make you think it's not, but it is. Credit card companies charge 2-3% for transactions. That's going away. If you're invested in Visa, MasterCard, American Express, you need to catch on quickly. People aren't going to allow, merchants are not going to allow for years to come charges of 2 to 3% that take away from their margins when they have methods that are going to be very prevalent soon. This is already in China, like quick, like X payment service type things, PayPal, Venmo. This stuff already exists in China because they were much more aggressive. We will be seeing that here. There's going to be a push across the board. These are the big players now, and they're going to be bigger and bigger and bigger. So PayPal, X, all this stuff is going to push this forward. You're going to see credit card companies die. You're going to see their margins drop. And you're going to see the relationship that PayPal has with 35 million merchants become more impressive. You're going to see the fact that over 25% of e-commerce goes through PayPal. What the hell? Like, sorry, I wasn't going to cuss. I'm working on it, but that's crazy. They have 400 million customers. This is not a dying company. Anybody who says that is an idiot or just doesn't do good research, or maybe both. So ignore that stuff. They just need to get better at their products. In that other video that you should watch, they talked about a single platform at PayPal and reducing expensive and unprofitable sections of the company, probably layoffs and just better product alignment. Think about PayPal and Venmo apps integrated with each other. They talked about AI and how they want to make it to where they're going to be able to take this data and make it to where the merchants and customers are more successful because of it. That is going to happen in leaps, man. I have huge faith in Alex Chris. This guy's a doer. And the thing I want you to focus on within these charts is I want you to see a few things here. Active customer count, flat, several years. Easy argument to be made there. But that's because this company, even before Alex Chris, decided that they should focus on the customer base that makes money. So this looks bad initially, but it's really not. And you can see this between total payment volumes internationally in the United States. This is huge growth. Now, is it profitable? No. Transaction margins are weak because this company was too busy trying to acquire things that didn't relate to the payment services and would really push them further away from their mission and goal. So they just sucked for a while and lost vision. You got to remember, PayPal had some really bad reputation. The woke left narrative was huge against these guys. They got headlines about the Canadian truckers movement where they were freezing people's accounts. And then I don't think they ever implemented it from what I read, but they had a whole getting penalized for not telling the truth and putting falsehoods on social media. Holy shibbits was that. See, I'm getting better. Bad press. I mean, if you're on the right or if you're just not insane, you look at this and go, I don't want people to take money out of my investment accounts or my savings account or just my version of a checking account with PayPal. If I said something that the government or PayPal didn't agree with, that was stupid. Luckily, that CEO is gone. He's not here anymore. And we've got Alex Chris, somebody who appears to be brilliant. And these guys have started to walk away from some of their political contributions and narratives towards organizations that are questionable. And I want my companies to be neutral. This whole day and an age where you got to be pro-Trump or woke left is stupid if you're a business. If you want to limit half of your customer base, make a political decision. Lean towards one side. Personally, I think it's idiotic. You should tell people your values, who you are as a company, and then fuck the political advertising. God, I'm not getting better at this. All right, so let two. Just give me some grace. I'll get better. I promise. Anyway, let's move on. Revenue segments going up. Net income. These guys are netting $1 billion a quarter, and that's going to get better. I don't know what to say. Shares outstanding. Look at this. Look how much fewer shares there are. We've got almost $1 billion. It says 1.1-ish on here, but that's probably even lower by now, and we'll find out this next quarter. And then look at where they were in 2021. This is closer to their this is near their peak. They had almost 1.2, and now they could be closer to 1.05. What? So you're seeing this company not only get destroyed, down 78% right now from its all-time high 2.5 years ago, but you're seeing net incomes of $1 billion a quarter that are probably going to grow. You're seeing revenue segments pick up. You're seeing operating expenses going down while their cash remains strong and as of recent quarters starts to grow, even though debt maintains, and you're seeing shares consumed, and you're seeing total payment volume increase. And now you've got a CEO behind this company that knows what he's doing. I want to throw out something else. Institutions understand the value of PayPal. It's the people that ran away, especially if you were on the right. If you saw that Canadian trucker thing and you saw losing your freedom to speak, I mean, that's just not just a right thing. I'm just going to say I'm liberal and conservative in many ways, and I voted Democrat and Republican. That's just a common sense thing. Governments censoring what you can talk about. Who the hell is for that? Oh, 3 times. Boy, I suck. Anyway, I'm getting passionate. I'm gonna dial it back. My whole point: institutions love this company. They never gave up. Retail gave up. You look at other companies, you see retail all over it. So I'm not making up the majority of it. Here, they barely exist, but they're getting it. They're starting to understand that they need to be here. I'm gonna breathe. I'm bringing it back down. All right, next part, crucial part. Looking at this chart, and then the part after that, the part I can't wait to show you guys, how much money I'm making off these options. It is gonna be sick, especially if there's an X integration. Oh, life-changing wealth. All right, let's go into it. So this chart right here, again, I already told you 6.5 year price range. That's where we're at right now, even though we saw all that growth and all these other cool things. In this chart, there's some other stuff I want to show you. I'm looking at the weekly time frame, down almost 79%. There are daily gaps in this chart that ensure that they will be filled in the future. They're too large. Now, gaps don't always get filled. They get filled 90% of the time. So the time where they don't get filled is on extreme spectrums. So like, let's say you blasted up really high and then you crashed. That might not get filled if there's a little gap in there. That might not fill because it might just trade in a range for a long time, or it'll take ages for it to fill. Or like what we're looking at more likely here, since most markets go up, we know that going up, you're probably going to fill those gaps. So where are the ones you're not going to fill? They're going to be on the downside. They're going to be the ones way down here because you moved up too quickly. So the chance of these gaps getting filled, we have one here all the way up to around 72. Huge chance. We've got one here. If I go to the daily time frame, let me just zoom out here, and I look at this one. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. And this gap is technically even larger because this gap is from here down to here. And then you have gaps over here. I don't know what to say, guys. This is just like crazy. And again, if we just go to just to this, let's keep it simple, right? That's absolutely no transactional volumes, or I'm sorry, price trading in these ranges. We'll keep it simple. We'll keep it at that because people weigh them differently. Anyway, got this gap, got this little baby gap, got this gap, huge gaps that will probably be filled. Think about that. Now, let's go back to the weekly here. Let's go back to one of my funnest. We just broke out. We're going to hit that 75, 76 range. That's going to be easy. I'm not even worried about it. We're going to hit 100, 104. This is called a mean reversion. When we go from way down here for almost 2 years, we're going to close this gap right up here. And then we have another daily right up in there. So the chance of us getting that's high. Where we will hit resistance. So I think we hit here, we hit here. Maybe at 75, I take 5% profits, like 5%. I haven't taken any. I bought this thing back. I bought these options back in June. I put $300,000 into them now, I think, something like that. I have to go back and look. And at the same time, I'm only looking at 5% here in the 70s. That should tell you something about my conviction and where we're headed. I'll probably get at least 15 to 20% cashed out, probably at least 20. I might even go 25. It depends on the market. Macro matters. If TA people tell you that only the charts matter, they're fools. They're fools that get lucky because charts do matter, But if you want to be really good at them, you have to incorporate macro and fundamentals. And I think that's where I differentiate myself. So anyway, I think in the 100 range is really pretty likely. Maybe go 25% there, sell 25% of it. I'll have paid for everything anyway and be up a lot. So whatever. I made $80,000 almost just on Friday. Just here. Just this little baby move, 80 grand. Anyway, so maybe get 25% here. Up to here, probably be 50 to 60% out. Decent amount. Up here, 60 to 70% out, and then reevaluate. But will I be 100% out? No, I won't. And I might even change these and lower these a little bit, because even though the 200 is tough, the chance of us at least going up and filling this gap is pretty high short term. Just be based on momentum, what the momentum will be. And if you don't believe me, look at a chart like Meta. Look at a chart like Meta or even Tesla, and look at what they did in a short period of time. When the narrative for Meta was this company was like done, unprofitable. They were throwing money away. It was just all over for Meta. And I bought calls last year, I don't know, December or January. I made a cool $250,000, something like that. I did the same thing with Tesla. Everybody thought it was dying. I made a $250,000. Did it with Palantir, made 600,000. Did it with SoFi, made a couple $100,000. So like these are repeatable patterns, and we're lucky. We're at a time, I shouldn't say we're lucky. We're at a time where there is optimism. We could get more downward pain, but we've already suffered a lot over the last couple of years. 2022 was not a bull market. Look at this. Look at this. So we have really a major chance for upside strength, and fintech and banks could get a bid, especially if rates start to come down as lending starts to increase. People look at it as, oh, if rates start to come down, then they won't make money off the interest. And that's not nearly as good as them pushing loans. They want loans. They want those. So keep that in mind. If rates drop and the economy is not falling apart, the chance of them increasing loan volumes for real estate and all this other stuff increases a lot. People's spending goes up. Stock market goes up. A lot of good things can happen if employment is sound and we start to lower rates, which I think we could do as early as March. There's a 50% chance. I think it's probably higher than that. But anyway, so this could go up a lot. Now, here the fun for the people that stuck around 22 and a half minutes. The fun. How much will I make off of PayPal? And I got a lot in. Okay, I guess I got $282,100 in because my price per contract was 91 cents. Because again, I had conviction. I bought on the way down. I own a lot of contracts. I think this is 2% of what's out there for this time frame. And then I've got other friends that own a bunch more. Social media site might own a decent amount, but this is going to pick up. Here's what I want to show you. This is crazy. So this is only going to 150. Let's say that this next gap gets filled. We're gonna put this for 225 because this could happen in the next year. This is not insane. I don't think we go beyond that. I don't think it's possible, but filling the gap, possible. So let's look at some small stuff here. Let's go. Okay, I told you I think there's a pretty good chance we make it to like 104, right? That's mean reversion. That's very likely. That could happen by May, June, maybe even earlier. Look at these amounts of money I make. Anywhere from like almost 2 million to, let's say it takes a while, to like 300,000 if it was by August. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the likely range for us hitting that $100 range is in here. So I'm up 1 million, 2 million. Now let's go back. Let's say that we can get up to this next fib. I think that's pretty likely as well. And then we have that huge gap. I think actually I would give a 70% chance, maybe 65 to 70% chance that we make it to the 200 moving average, which again, that would signal if we cross that and stayed above it for a period of time, like over a week, that would be an area where it looks like you're going from a bearish market to a bullish market for this individual stock. That's like the golden rule for like everybody, pretty much. But you could go over that for a week. And so you could get to that 152 range, right? What does that look like? What does that look like? That's $9 million. I'm not joking. That's a $9 million number. When you subtract out my cost here. Anyway, Let's just say that, let's say it takes a while. Let's say it takes till August to get to that number. I make $7 to $8 million. Maybe 5, 4, if it really sucks. I mean, that could be as low as 3. If it takes a year, I would expect that to happen within here at the very least. So I'm not selling huge amounts of this. And again, if we go to 225, what does that number even say? $26 million? Now, don't get me wrong. I won't make that. I won't stick around for all of that. But even with me pinching off amounts of this, I could make $5 million this year just off of PayPal. Conservatively, if it does well. And this is off of probabilities that are pretty high of success, at least a 50-50. This is what I talk about with my investment style. I look for asymmetric returns. These are not normal returns. You don't normally get 10,000% in returns off of a 240% move. But this is the bets you look for in options, guys. This is it. These are the bets I make. So if you want to learn how to do this stuff, follow me. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on X. And I'll post my video that at the end of this too that shows my thoughts on PayPal and that interview that Alex did. Make sure you watch it if you haven't. It's really good. Anyway, this is all I had. It's a lot. I know it's insane too. Love you guys. Hope more people subscribe, like, hit the little bell, all that stuff. I'd love to see that. It lets me know you guys care. Comments help. Please comment if you got this far. Anyway, let's make a shib ton of money in the next couple of years and show these people what we're made of. Let's start investing in companies that are changing the future. Let's put money in investments like Bitcoin that make the world a better place. Let's do what GameStop tried to do, and let's the deep fucking value, whatever his name was. Let's Hello Kitty. Sorry, I know I'm butchering that. But anyway, my whole point is let's do what he was doing, because the mentality behind it was not bad. It was that people get screwed and the system is rigged against you, and let's make some money. But here's the thing, let's not destroy the system and the stock market to do it or think that we can. But how about let's invest in great companies and investments that can make the world a better place, make the vision that we want, give them our capital to help them be successful, and get filthy effing rich at the same time. Let's do that. Let's make that our goal. That's my goal. Who's with me? Have a good day.